Hi, it's Cameron, and in this video, we're going to look at how to write ad copy for social media ads. So that's going to be either an ad you have money behind in terms of your sponsored posts through Ads Manager, or just the sponsored post feature, or if you're just organically putting an advert on your social media page, but you want people to take a specific action. It's a little bit different from just posting. You want to have certain things in place that are going to make them take that action. So I'm going to turn off the webcam just because it will make weird, strange noises when I go through all this. But there's 5 key things you want to keep in mind. And let's take a look at them now, and then we'll walk through and show you an actual example of an ad that I've just made up. But it shows you the layout and some little things you can put in place to just make it more user-friendly and more likely for people to engage with it and take the action that you want. So the key elements of an ad, you're going to have to start with a hook, always pretty much. This is something that captures people's attention and makes them want to read on from your ad. So a large part is going to be the actual creative, stopping people, making them stop the scroll and look at your ad. But to get them to read it, you want to have a hook in place. The next thing, you're going to have the what. Okay, so what is your ad about? What is the product? What is the service? People need to know what it's about and why it relates to them. Otherwise, they're not going to continue reading. They're just going to leave. You're then going to have the pain points. So you're going to want to list out the pain points, which are the issues people are facing, the problems they're facing, so that they can get into that emotional state where they're feeling those problems that they have before you put a solution in front of them. Then, of course, you're going to have the solution, and you're going to talk in terms of benefits. People don't care about the features of your product. You might be very impressed by them. I'm sure they're very impressive, but they care about how it benefits them. So you need to always talk about benefits. You can you can have features there, but you must have the coinciding benefit as well. And then lastly, you're going to have a call to action. So people won't take action on anything online unless you tell them to do so. So always have a call to action in place. So they might take action sometimes, but it's very unlikely. And then a little bonus to that is you can have a little sprinkle of scarcity alongside your call to action, just to create a sense of urgency and to make people more likely to take action there and then, rather than to sit and think about it for a while. Okay, and if you're doing ads, you'd probably be paying for them to then look at the ad again and then take action. So you want them to make the purchase, download the lead magnet, do whatever, sign up to the event there and then. So let's look at an example of this, and I'll talk you through what each of them are and some of the things I've done to lay it out neatly. So this is just one I've made up, but straight away at the top, you see a hook. So no time to attend Spanish classes with a little emoji. So on Facebook, it's quite difficult to get the ads approved if you have a question about people. You're making assumptions about people you're not allowed to do. It's prohibited. But I find if you write something that's not mentioning you, it's like a statement but with a question mark, they get approved. So that's what I do. So no time to attend Spanish. I'm not saying do you not have time to attend Spanish classes, because that would probably not be approved as an ad. If you're doing it organically on your Facebook page, it doesn't matter. Okay, you can say you all you like. Got to bear in mind as well that on Facebook, it's going to differentiate between placements, but you're only really going to see the top 3 or 4 lines, depending where it is. So you don't see all this. So it has to be something that gets them to go click, read more or see more, and then look at the rest of the stuff. So no time to attend Spanish classes automatically speaks to anyone who is thinking about Spanish classes. Okay, so that will be my targeting. We'll get the right people, so they're going to go, right, that relates to me. Let's see what this ad is all about, or what this post is all about. If you have time to attend Spanish classes, obviously you're not going to look at it, but you don't need what I'm selling, so that's good for me. So the next thing is the what. I'm telling them straight away, online classes. That's what it's about. It's about online classes, and it's also a secondary one. It's about busy lifestyle. So it's for people who are busy. It's not just about anyone. It's online classes are a favorite amongst our students with busy lifestyle. So if that relates to you, this is an ad for you. Then we have the pain points. So here I'm going to list out the problems they're facing, and I've taken the example of online classes, so what's the solution that they solve? There's a lot more problems to problems involved with online classes. I've just not included them. I wanted to keep it a quick example, but if you're doing it yourself, you can put more in by all means. So we get it. You want to learn, but after a long day at work, traveling across the city for a class just isn't appealing. Plus, if meetings run over, you may not even make it. So the first one, after a long day at work, so I'm trying to get that emotional feeling of I've had a long day, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I don't want to do anything else. Just get them in that state, bring them back to it. And then say the logical thing is traveling across the city for a class just isn't appealing. So that's got some emotional and some logical. That's the problem. You've had a long day and it's not feasible to travel across the city for a class. That's a problem. The next thing is meetings. If meetings run over, you may not even make it. That's problem 2. You may be not signing up to a bunch of classes at the moment because they're on the same time, the same week, the same day. And you have a sort of flexible schedule with work, which means you can't commit to it, so you can't make them. Okay, so that's problem 2 you're facing. I'm going to say the solutions now, so it's no problemo, and that's me relating back to the Spanish thing. Our classes are, so I'm going to list out the solutions available throughout the day. So the benefit is you can take one whenever you want. I've not really listed that benefit, but it's quite obvious that that's implied, I think, so I just didn't do it. I didn't have to spell out you can take a class whenever you want throughout the day. It's just available throughout the day. People can put 2 and 2 together. 100% flexible, so that's a feature that needs to be explained. So the benefit is you can reschedule at short notice. Okay. Next one, over webcam. So again, a feature needs to be explained for natural communication. So a lot of people fear that having online classes means it's lesser than a physical class. But if you have a webcam on, it mimics that online, that human-to-human physical experience. You can see your expressions. You can see when you're confused. And then lastly, on a shared screen. So again, that's a feature. You need to tell the benefit. It's to prevent confusion. So another fear people have of online classes is that, or not even a fear, it's just a thing you actually face, is if someone does an online class but they don't share their screen, you're saying, oh, what are you looking at? Let's say we've both got a textbook and we're trying to find out where each other are. It can be confusing. So if you've got a shared screen, like I have here, I can just point to the things as a teacher that I want the student to look at. So it's very, very simple. Prevents confusion. Okay. And one last thing I just added. So it's, and you'll have lifetime access to the lessons materials sent via email straight after class. Lesson materials, yeah, straight after class. So it's a final benefit. I'm just trying to write it in a way that's a bit more human, okay? It's a bit more conversational. So I've got them listed here, but then I go, oh, I knew, as if I'm talking to you. I almost forgot. So that's just my writing style for that ad. Now, you could have these written in a paragraph like this, and likewise, you could list out your problems if you want, like this. It just depends on how you feel and how you want it to look, and how many problems and issues you have, if you're going to be very long, if you're going to be very short. So this is not super long. This is not short either. This is a sort of medium length ad copy, but I could have the same thing. Let's say I just talk about one problem and one solution. I can have it very short, or I just have a hook and then call to action because my creative does the problem and solutions part. It just depends on what your advert is, really. But then finally, we have a call to action. So click to claim your free online trial class today. But hurry, the offer ends this week. So but the call to action, click to claim your free online trial class today. I'm telling you to do it now. And then I sprinkle on top that bit of scarcity, but hurry, the offer ends this week. Now, what you find, especially with the paid ads, is even if it doesn't end this week, you can have these sort of copywriting features in place, scarcity mentioned, because it's not going to show to those people again if you set it up a certain way, or they might take an action and fall out. So the people you're intended to get to take action, it can always be this week to them. Okay. I mean, obviously, if your frequency is quite high, you don't put a limit on it, people are going to see the ad tons of times and they'll see that you've always got a free thing. It's like a famous furniture store that always has a closing down sale and had for many, many years, but it never closed down. It's the same thing as that. Okay, they're just having scarcity in there. So some things to point out. I've used a few emojis. Now that entirely depends on your audience. If you have a more serious, mature audience, maybe you don't want to use emojis. If you have a very young, hip audience, maybe you want to use more emojis. Don't overdo it, I'd say. Just have a few. That's why I do. To emphasize the emotion you want, they're very good. But if you have tons of them, it just looks tacky, I feel, and doesn't look very professional. But it is social media after all, so having emojis is definitely not something you need to avoid. Another thing is you got to remember that a lot of the people we watch seeing this on mobile. So this is why I use all the spaces. If you just have one giant paragraph, it's going to be intimidating for people, especially on mobile, and they're just going to go, "Oh, I'm not reading that." By having little snippets of information, what you find is you read them, and then you want to find out more, so you read more. Okay, so it eases people into it, and it's very, very good to do that. And it's very neat. That's why these as well, I like to have them always on one line. I don't like when it jumps onto two if I'm doing the bullet points. Just my preference. You can have them on two, but I like to keep it very, very neat, very concise, as short as possible, so that as much information can be taken in as small a space as possible. Even if it's a big copy, it's the same idea. It's like you want to pack as much information as you can into the space you're using. So it's completely valuable. So that's pretty much how you would write an advert. Obviously, don't stick too much to that structure, play with it, but keep those five elements in place whenever you do an advert. And it will really, really help you. Honestly, it transformed my ads when I first started doing them, and had a lot better results having a sort of system in place. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.